Did China's increasing influence in the Pacific come up during your discussion today? And how are you each raising with China about its relationship with Russia?
Would you like to lead off?
Most certainly. Of course, in almost every bilateral that New Zealand has, we'll reflect on our region, changes in our region, and the important relationships that exist in our region. When it comes to the engagement of China on the conflict and war in Ukraine, from New Zealand's perspective, we keep sending the same message. What is happening in Ukraine is an assault on a country's sovereignty and their territorial integrity. And you'll find countries like China referencing that and raising that as an issue. And so we continue to encourage at every level China to continue to acknowledge what the Ukraine conflict represents for the world.
Well, we did discuss developments in the Pacific region, and particularly China's growing interest in the region. Singapore has long-standing and warm relations with the South Pacific. We are fellow small island states. We share many common interests and concerns like climate change. And it's in the interest of all of the countries to have a stable, peaceful, and prosperous South Pacific. And Singapore will continue to do our part to support this through capacity building efforts. We have good cooperation with all of the South Pacific countries. We are not familiar with the details of the agreement, which has been reported in the Solomon Islands and China, so we're not able to comment upon that. But on China and Russia, we did have a discussion. We do watch the situation in Ukraine and how that will impact China-Russia relations and therefore China-US relations. And we both have a vested interest in China-US relations being stable and not being complicated or further sharpened in terms of the hostility or the lack of trust on both sides. And we hope that wisdom will prevail and Ukraine will not make things more complicated.